Looking through the message that you sent me last time, yeah, it's when you sent the message about the man looking in the mirror.
Yes.
So, what was the meaning of that image?
It's basically when we don't look within, but we see the issue as outside
Yeah.
all the time. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But a lot of the times, like when things go wrong, we don't look at, you know, ourselves. You know,
yeah,
it's like sometimes we put ourselves in a victim position too much.
it's true.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
All right. So in our experiences, right? Like,
Yeah.
if we're honest, in our experiences, do you think that over the years, whether it's with women, whether it's with friends, whether it's with family, are you saying that we could do something about it, but we tend to act like we didn't have a choice in the situation?
Sometimes, and the thing is, sometimes we don't even know that we could do something about it because we sometimes forget that ultimately we have choices. Yeah. So I was using the example of, let's say, a woman or a man who is like ultra kind, right? And they set up a business, and deep down inside, they lack like self belief, self worth. So deep down inside, like there is something that says you are not good enough.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
this business is not going to do that well. So they set up the business, and whenever people come, they sell their product for like 70% off, 80% off,
Mm.
thinking in their mind, right, that if they continue to be kind, yeah, that people will go, oh my gosh,
Yep.
let's bring more customers and
Yep.
and let's look at this thing and go, oh nah, this is too cheap. Let me pay you what it's worth, right?
Yeah.
And then as time goes on with that business model, let's say expenses become too much,
Hmm.
rent, stuff, not making a profit. And the person would say, look at my luck. I'm always kind and nice to people, but yet, look, I'm struggling. Yeah. Instead of saying, okay, I have to change this business model. Maybe I am being too generous with my discounts. Yeah. Maybe dig even deeper and say, maybe I just don't believe that, I could sell this at this price. Maybe I need to face that lack of belief. Maybe I need to face that lack of self-worth. Yeah. Face that, then set the price of your product to a decent price where you can get, if you want to give a discount, give a discount. If you want to do buy one, get one free for a limited time for a week or something, but look within and see what are the hurdles holding you back from getting to where you want to get to. Instead of saying, man, I'm so kind and I'm so generous, and yet I'm struggling and people don't value my product. Well, they're not going to value it because if you take this product, right, and go, here's this product, and I know you see that it's worth £300, yeah, but I'm gonna sell it to you for £50.
Yeah.
You're literally planting the thought in their mind, even though they could see that it's worth £300. You're telling them indirectly, maybe it's only worth 50 because she's selling it to me for 50.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and when you give somebody something cheaper, they're not going. Human nature, we're not gonna go, man, you know what? Let me get this person £300 instead.
Yeah.
You're gonna try to keep getting it cheaper.
Yeah. But then, are you saying that is that human nature? As in, is that how all of us are? Are there
Nah,
people there
yeah,
who will see that, oh, this person is kind and
yeah.
will not take advantage? Or is that how we made up thinking, okay, cool, oh, doesn't value himself? Is that something that is a lot of people do, or we do have Is it 50-50? How does it work?
I feel like part of it is human nature, yeah, to go along with it. But there are a few people out there that would say, nah, nah, like, listen, this is what I'm going to give you. What is the original price? This is what I'm going to give you. But it's very hard for people to do that because human nature dictates that when somebody gives you something for lesser than it's worth and something that you can afford, you're going to just try to hang on to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's indirectly taking advantage, but sometimes people don't do it on purpose. But then there's a group of people who do it on purpose. And what they do is their job is to continue, their job is to continuously plant the seeds in your mind that you're not worth it.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Continuously to keep that there, because if they know they keep you on that level, they know they will keep getting product that is cheap for them.
Yeah.
It's in their best interest that you believe that it is not worth 300, it is worth 50. But sometimes they try to hide it. They go, oh, maybe it's worth 70, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and then like that's how they try to trick you.
Yeah. Like, if I'm being honest with you,
yeah.
When I go into something, whether it's friendship, relationship, anything I do, I like to give 100%, even at the workplace. So if that's how you are naturally, it can be difficult. But then how do you spot when to say to yourself, you know what, I've got to be careful here, because it's not easy to tell all the time. So in my personal experience, I've been with someone before where I went in with a pure heart. It took me over 3 years to know, like after the whole thing was over and upon reflection, did I realize that I was taken for a ride. I was basically, all my good qualities were being taken advantage of. My kindness, I was soft. People were telling me, I was being advised by friends. I didn't see it. So it's good you saying that, but then on the other hand, if you focus too much on that, wouldn't you go through life thinking everyone is there to get you? Like everyone is there to take advantage of who you are.
Yeah, that's why you have to look within and ask the question, why are you like this? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with going at 100% or giving 100%, right? But the problem in life with you and with me sometimes with other people is that we do it at the expense of ourselves. And that is the problem, because as I say, all right, I'm coming to you, I'm giving 100%, right? But I am not giving any to myself. And again, like the example I used before, that person, depending on who they are, if they value you or not, or they see you as easy supply, they will go, oh, nice. This person, I can see this person doesn't believe in themselves, So I am going to set it up where they can keep giving me supply, but I give them just a little bit to make them feel, wanted, and then withdraw it. It's like gambling, because people lose a lot of money. People go into casinos wanting to, I don't know, buy a house, get rid of bills, get rid of debts. There's always something behind why people go into casinos. Not all of it is, oh, greed and I want to be rich. A lot of people out there want to get rid of their life problems, right? Casinos know this. And their whole business model is to get rich off of people. So they're always set up where you always win a little, to keep you hooked, like, oh my gosh, I got a chance. But then they keep taking and taking and taking and taking. And you notice that look in casinos, if you do win or you win too much, they kick you out. Because that's not the plan. The plan is to get from you.
It's true. And I guess if you are in a situation where the person is the taker, is when you decide to leave, not giving them what they want. I mean, I know I'm not putting it right, but I could see where you're going with this.
So it's a case of putting value on yourself.
Mm.
Because when you put value in yourself, those type of people would know straight away, or I can't afford this.
Yeah.
You know, so they're not gonna come to use you.
That's true.
They're gonna be like, yeah, I can't afford this. I'm not even bothering. Because the whole point is not to afford. The whole point is to get something of worth for much cheaper without investing in it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Mm. And then would you say you need to get to the point where, because it goes back to the question I asked earlier, how do you find the balance? Do you think it gets to the point where you need to train yourself to see these things? But I guess, again, experiences should show you, like when you see something that's happened before, you should be able to spot it
Yeah.
more. Like now, if I'm being honest with you, like now, if I was to meet someone who manipulates people,
Yeah.
I could spot it from a mile off because of my experiences.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. You were going to say something.
I was gonna say the point of the post that I posted that we're kind of discussing now, right, is not to look out for, look outwards for to see if it's gonna happen again, is to look at yourself.
Okay.
Because there's a common denominator with everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you, like using your example, you were saying that you would give yourself 100%, right? But you would know deep down inside, you're that kind of person that you feel like I always want to please, or I always have to be there, and I always have to serve, at the expense of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You've even in business, like you've given discounts where or you've charged less than,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the problem is, when you think about it, right, the problem is not really the people outside, the vultures, is me, because basically you gotta look inside and go, like, I have my own experiences, right, in terms of relationships and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I always say you gotta look at it and go, okay, what's the common denominator? You can't always go, I'm a great person, or I'm a good worker, and this always happens. Sometimes you gotta sit back and go, all right, this keeps happening. Regardless of if I'm a good worker or a good person, this keeps happening. Why is that? Yeah. And then you got to look inside, and sometimes you have to look deep inside, and sometimes you have to go into uncomfortable places. Places that your brain go, no, don't go there. I can't admit that to myself. Sometimes you got to admit to yourself, and go, okay, hey, maybe I don't have much self-worth. Yeah. Don't believe in myself. So I feel like I have to continuously serve and give to get something. I don't believe that I can sit, do the work, and charge what I need to charge. And I don't believe I can do that and do that continually and, successfully. Do that continually, successfully.
Yeah.
You got to believe, you can,
Yeah.
But when you have that thing and you were like, I don't believe, and for me to get what I need to keep serving and keep being there and keep sacrificing myself. That's when you get into trouble all the time, because it's a law of attraction. If you keep doing that, that's going to keep coming. No matter how good you think you believe you are inside. Because then what happens is that kind of thought also brings up an entitlement in you, in me and you, where we feel like I'm entitled to this.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's entitled to anything.
Yeah.
And you got to believe in yourself.
And
you also got to believe in yourself without feeling like you're entitled to something.
Yeah.
There's a dark side to that coin, but we can get to that. I'm going to let you.
That's it, yeah. Because it's interesting. So basically, it's the way we project ourselves.
Yeah.
The way you project yourself will either attract certain types of people.
Exactly.
Into your life, basically. And it's interesting how much, when you spoke about putting your worth, the worth that you put on yourself, like how much worth, the way you behave, when people treat you a certain way. It's similar to like me being a gardener when it comes to buying the tools.
Yeah.
I know that I could go to B&Q and get a cheap tool, right?
Yeah.
I don't really expect much from it. In fact, I disrespect it a lot more. And
Yeah.
that's something I naturally do. But there's a make that I use. I know it's expensive, but I never sit there and wonder why is it expensive, because, and they don't feel bad for putting the price tag on it, because the same too, for instance, let's say I want to get a hedge cutter, right?
Yeah.
The more expensive one, you're looking at $599, and you can get
Good
a basic
gosh.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You can get a basic one.
Yeah. That's where you got to up your prices, man. Up your prices.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For like 30 quid.
Yeah.
But these guys are still making a lot of money, even though their price tag seems quite huge.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we are around, like when we're around certain people, we keep asking ourselves, why am I being constantly being treated this way? It's because the tag that we've put on ourselves is like, well, you can disrespect me.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Mm-mm-mm.
And if you continue on through life with those people around you, you would never feel worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because it's their business model to disrespect you and make you feel worthless.
Mm.
You know? Like actually, I was gonna say look at their work model, you know, but anyway. But yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just leave that one alone.
Okay. Now, you know, we've spoken about it in relationships, but imagine you live with someone like that, though. Is it not a lot more challenging? Like, is this something that would take a longer time to change the way they see you? Because I've got friends. Yeah. I've got this friend. She's like 29. She wants to settle down, but most of the time, you know, as a parent, they always see their kids. We know that all parents see their children as kids, whether they are 50, 40, whatever. Yeah. What if you're growing and you get into that stage where you need to make your own decisions, but your own parents are seeing you as a child? Because it sort of links to it. How do you change that?
You just gotta be firm in who you are, respectfully. Because sometimes it's hard for that to change because that's years. Yeah. But you just gotta be firm, respectfully, as to who you are. You know, and just don't waver. Because sometimes you can't change people's like perception, opinion, whatever you can. Sometimes it's impossible. You just gotta continue sticking to you. You know? Because like for instance, like again, let's say you do your job and there's somebody who has known you for a long time and they know you to be kind elder who would do a full day's work for £5. Yeah. £5 a glass of water. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you start to change, like because that person is so used to you being that way, yeah, it's almost like it's almost like you are. It's almost like, how can I put this? It's almost like you are attacking their sense of how they see you. So when you say, if you come as a businessman, or I'm a businessman, I got to make money, yeah, and you say, yo, you're my good friend, yeah, but here's the thing, I set this business plan where I cut grass, let's say spend 8 hours a day. My daily rate is £300, yeah? But for you, because you are a good friend, yeah, I will give it to you for £200. It would be hard for them to accept that because they've been getting it for £5 in a glass of warm water for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, what? 200? I can't do 200. That's too expensive.
That's it. Yeah.
Bear in mind, on the market, it costs 500. Yeah. But they're getting it for 200, down from 300. Yeah. So for them, it's like, nah, that's too much. That's too much, like, and they will come to you and say, I could get it done for £10. No, you can't. So in those situations where people have known you for a long time and they've gotten used to doing it, you just got to go, well, sorry, I would love to do it for £5, but state your reasoning. I have responsibilities and such, and it's my time. 8 hours is my time. You know, I could use that time to make decent money somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm willing to help you by giving you a discount, but this is what it is. Yeah.
True.
And of course, they will keep, like, those words will be like, those words won't have any weight. Because then the next week, the person will come to you like, yo, can you cut my grass? Yeah. And then you say, okay, that's £200. What? 200? As if you didn't say it before. They're like, what? 200? What happened? Like, what happened to fight? But I told you, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you would have to keep doing that. But then what happens is you get put in a position where that person, because they know how you tick, they'll be like, oh man, but I have no one, you know, my grass is growing long and I've been broke this month and, you know, it's time so hard, and they know how to play the, you know, pluck the strings. But then is that point you got to go, I hear you, man, and I feel bad. You know, I feel you. I wish I could help. You know, or you know what? 195.
Yeah.
But no lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, what, 195? I can't. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah, and you know, as you said, you have a decision. You could choose to leave.
You could choose to leave.
Exactly. And I think the more consistent you are with it, because it comes in your demeanor as well. Yeah. The way you say it.
Yeah.
Because knowing someone who's confident in what they're saying and knowing someone who's not too confident in what they're saying, you feel like you could still keep pushing.
Yeah.
So it's the consistency and how your demeanor portrays it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes to know that someone is serious, if I'm messing around with you, not taking you seriously, for you to know that I can't mess around with you, you are serious. You're like, you need to stop. You don't go, oh, stop. Oh,
exactly.
You're
Exactly.
very serious. You're very serious. Yeah. But I was going to say, you know, talking about these things and how people see you and how you project yourself and not always looking at the other person. You know, last time we were speaking and you did bring up being black, let's say being black in Britain, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Being stopped by police. We did touch on stuff like that.
Yeah.
I want to start off with, can we go around in life? Because you're from Barbados, I'm from Ghana. You know, in Barbados, you just fit in. That's where you come from. I'm from Ghana. Now we live in a country where we don't really come from. But do you think we'll go through life, whether it's job, being stopped by the police, thinking that everything that happens to us is because of our skin color?
I think here's the thing, right? As human beings, no matter what color you are, if you see a pervasive pattern or a particular pattern, you will start to see everything fitting in that pattern. Now that is human nature. Yeah. So something can happen that will have nothing to do with your skin color. Yeah. But because you're in an environment where that's the pattern, your brain's going to go, hey, I think this is the same thing again. No matter where you are in the world, you know, because that's the pattern of abuse that's around you. You know, because everybody, right? I think the biggest mistake we make as human beings is that we've got this thing where like, we separate each other, right? So, black people believe this or feel this, but then white people believe or feel something different, right? But then if you take white people and put them in another country where they were the minority or the oppressed, they will feel the exact and think the exact same thing.
Yeah, sorry to stop you there because I've got this, one of my English friends, he said to me, if he was to go to Ghana, is there a lot of white people there? I said, it's not a lot. It's just a few.
Yeah.
I mean, the city is not much of a big deal because it's the city. City is where everything happens, action goes on. So no one is thinking, oh. But when you go to the towns or the villages and there is, let's say you had your own community there. In fact, he did say to me, we as foreigners are fortunate.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we are in a country that's welcoming and they take on people from all sorts of backgrounds.
Just like Barbados.
Yeah.
and also to connect to what we were saying before.
Yeah.
The people of those countries like Barbados and Ghana, they also lack of self-worth. So they sacrifice everything for people outside. They
What
go,
do you?
I mean,
So,
like,
yeah.
we welcome, yeah, but we welcome you, we give you everything, we'll sacrifice ourselves, we'll literally sacrifice everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it all comes down to the psychology of lacking of self-belief.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So in terms of business and stuff, it's also a case of lacking belief in self, and like a mirror, like as a black man, I look at you as another black man. So you're like a mirror image of me. And then I look at you the way the world has planted in my mind to look at myself and to look at you.
Yeah.
So I look at you as a threat. That's why you see in a lot of, like, even here in England, and a lot of countries, like a lot of, like, people like to say, like, black on black crime, yeah, which is ridiculous. Crime is crime within proximity. You would get white on white crime in Glasgow, Liverpool, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the psychology behind it is you have a world that plants in people's mind that you and they are a threat. We are human beings too. So we soak that information and see you and I as a threat. So we see everybody, and the same message says, oh, well, these people aren't a threat. So then as human beings, we go, oh, well, they're not a threat. So imagine, like in Ghana and Barbados and the West Indies, that world set up, yeah? So let's say you got black tourists that go to Barbados. You would see a major difference in how they're treated compared to English tourists. Because now the black person subconsciously is looking, going, threat, nothing
All right.
to.
So who's that? So basically, threat. Who is this
Yeah.
threat? So if I was to come to Barbados as a tourist, what are you saying? How would they treat me then? Me.
I'm not saying they'll treat you bad. They might try to take advantage. Yeah.
Or
But
they might try and take advantage.
charge you more for, but they do that everywhere
They do
anyway.
that in Ghana.
They do that everywhere with anybody.
Even though, 100%. And even though I'm from Ghana, sometimes when I go there myself, and they know that, I've just came into the country, want to take advantage of me too, even though I can speak the language.
Yeah. And I was like, money.
Yeah.
Good.
How would an English person be treated in comparison to me though?
You would get given the benefit of the doubt for sure. I mean, an English person would get given the benefit of the doubt more than anybody else. They get treated a lot more better, a lot more respect. Let's say like an English person or American wanted to build business in Ghana or Barbados, easier path, because like, oh, okay, cool, the brain is going probably well off, not a threat, in a sense, superior, yeah.
Interesting.
So it's like loans. Oh no, it's cool. We got you. We will sort you out. We'll whatever, yeah. And that's what you see, like in Barbados, you see. I don't have a problem with this in itself, but in terms of structure, you see a lot of foreign business. You barely see any Barbadian business. Yeah, you see mostly foreign business, right? And there's not a problem with that. There's no problem with that. The problem is what happens when locals try to start businesses. The hurdles that get put in their way, because the moment they walk into the same establishment, the person looks at them and goes, "Who's this person?"
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? Because it's programming.
Yeah.
It's programming. It's like, who's this person? Like, you want a loan? We're gonna make it hard for you. Or I remember when I was in Barbados and I was getting my company name. I was registering my company name. Like in Barbados, like how in every place in the world you got like ghettos and people look at block men or road man and stuff like, like, oh, like these aren't good people, you know what I mean? Like, so I remember going to register my business name and I saw a bunch of guys that would be considered block men in Barbados, so bad men, yeah? And they're just trying to, with ideas for restaurants and businesses. And I was just looking, and a guy came to me and said, like, oh, I need to change my name because this name already exists. Can you help me? Yeah? And this is the kind of guy that you will look at outside and go, you will start like, you will cross the street. Yeah. Or you be like, oh, this person is looking for trouble or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But these guys are here trying to better their lives, trying to build business, got good ideas. Now imagine that guy goes into a bank to get a loan. They'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. We can't
yeah,
help you with that.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Or if they have an idea, oh, that's a good idea, steal it, give it to somebody else. Yeah. And then what happens is those guys go off, well, there's nothing else for me to do. Yeah.
That's true. That's
Let me
true.
go back and do my badness, or go back and do crime or sell drugs or whatever.
Yeah. So sometimes the way even we see ourselves,
Yeah.
it's not just to do with white and black, but the way even we see ourselves in our own countries. So it's a human thing, isn't it?
It's
Really?
a human thing, but the world that we live in, they've successfully made it seem as if it's a group thing or a race thing. But every last one of us, like I said, if you were to take a black kid and a white kid, right? You put the white kid in a village in Ghana, or in a ghetto in America, right?
Mm.
Or even in Barbados, in like an urban area in Barbados, right? That white kid is gonna grow up according to his environment. He's not gonna
Mm.
grow up acting black. That doesn't exist. Yeah, he's gonna grow up according to his environment. Everybody that acts the way they act in that environment, they act that way because that the environment sends messages to their brain, and then you know what I mean. That's how they take the black kid and put him into Beverly Hills, into Harvard, into Oxford, into a posh area. He's going to grow up like that. You
Yeah.
know,
But then,
not
sorry, go on, go on.
not 100%, but
Mm-hmm.
more likely he's going to because this doesn't mean anything is how this is developed. So if you if I was born here, but I was raised in Barbados from 5 till 16, right? I was born here, brain picked up all the information in my environment, people speaking with British accents, people acting a certain way. My brain records it, molds who I am. I speak with a British accent, right? 5 years old, I go to Barbados, different environment. Oh, there's calypso music, there's dub music, people speaking with a Barbadian accent. My brain's still developing as a kid, is picking this stuff up. I have a Barbadian accent, you know? So it's like, is all of us as human beings have the same programmable um organ here, yeah?
Yeah.
But for some reason, not for some reason, we've been duped into believing that it all comes down to this, you
Mm.
know?
So it's interesting though, but when you're talking about Barbados, me coming on their trip,
Yeah,
they don't see me much as, maybe the white person being treated much better when it comes to getting loans and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Listening to you is saying to me that you don't even have to be in a white country to view a white person as superior than you.
No,
Because they could come visit you in your country,
yeah,
or they could be living in your country, and you could still allow what you think, history, how things have been, to
yeah,
make you always think they're above me, they'll be more successful than me, they probably will have more money than me. It's almost as if, because in Ghana, it's automatic, sometimes when English people do go there, I think a lot of people think that they've just got money.
yeah,
Just, and sometimes it's not because they have anything extravagant. They're not showing off. They were in they were in flip flops.
yeah.
They're just normal people, and yet you could both be wearing the same thing, looking similar, and yet a Ghanaian will look at the white person and probably think he's well off.
Yeah,
She's well off.
yeah.
So yeah, and you must have seen that a lot in Barbados though, because in
Uh,
Barbados you guys see tourists all the time. And have you ever seen situations where an English person or a white person comes in? Don't want to, don't want to just make it English, but just a white person comes in. the way they get treated, how has it affected you when you see it? When you see it, like what goes through your head?
uh, I don't look at it as even from a racial thing. Again, I look at it from a psychological thing, right? Because we've been using black and white so far, yeah.
Yeah,
But go to any place on the earth that has a specific duality, you will see the same thing, yeah. So let's say me and you and somebody from China went to Fiji, yeah, or even Europe or something, yeah. The dynamic will kind of still be the same, you know, because, or hey, let me mix it up. Let's say an Arab or a Muslim, yeah, or and a black person goes to a specific country where the thought in that country is that Muslims are dangerous, yeah. You might be better off than that Muslim. See what I'm saying? You know, so it's more of a psychological thing for me. When I saw it, I used to just observe it. Like I used to just look at it and observe it and think this is actually fascinating. It's frustrating. Not because I have a problem with it. I would want everybody to be treated well, and there be hospitality towards everyone, yeah. But because I know the psychological dynamic, it's kind of frustrating. And I had an example I was going to use.
It slipped through your mind. Has it slipped through your mind?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. But again, this is how people always say, right? Oh, things happened a long time ago, like let it go. But if you recorded something to a CD or tape, yeah, the CD becomes what you've recorded onto it. If you have a CD and you recorded jazz music on it 100 years ago, yeah, 100 years later, even though CDs didn't exist back then, but hey, yeah, let's use that as an example. Like 100 years later, it's still going to be a jazz CD unless you overwrite the music that's on it. Yeah, it's not going to become a hip hop CD or a pop CD or whatever. That's what's recorded on the CD. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So with human beings, like certain people have been conditioned a certain way for a long time, right? And if there's no drastic change, how are they just gonna change? It's like a generational thing. It just keeps getting passed down, keeps getting passed down. You again, going back to the very first points we were talking about, you don't see yourself with much worth. Then you look at people who look like you and they're a mirror image of you. You look at them like a reflection in the mirror. So you see them as not having much worth. Yeah. And then you've been conditioned to believe that certain people have worth. Yeah. Even if they harm you, it's like, oh, they're harming me, but maybe it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's temporary. Maybe I get better. Yeah. But it's a psychological thing. It's not just a black and white thing. It's a human thing. It's a psychological thing with people. So again, for instance, there's this thing. You being an African, me being a West Indian. Yeah, there's a thing where I've heard people say that Africans feel like they're above West Indians.
Really?
Yeah.
And we feel that the West Indians think they're above the Africans.
You see? So imagine an African going to the West Indies or Barbados, yeah? And then people hearing that African accent, they start to look down on them, yeah? And also, to be fair, in Barbados, there are white people in Barbados that are looked down upon by blacks and black and white people, yeah? Because in the West Indies, it wasn't only slaves, there were also Irish slaves and indentured servants, right? And in Barbados, like, they're pretty poor, like, and they mix with Barbadians. Yeah, you couldn't tell. The only thing you could tell is that they have white skin, but when you hear them talk and their mannerisms, like I said, because they're in that specific environment, they're just they're Barbadian.
Soaked in, yeah, they soaked it all in the environment and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're very poor. And people look down on them and they're white. You know? So again, it's a psychological thing. It just comes down to dominance. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
What you thinking, man? What you thinking?
No. I'm just thinking. Even in Ghana, there are certain parts of Ghana that we look down on the people from the northern region, and
yeah,
we have areas called Zongo. It's like rundown areas, and even that exists there. It's human nature. But if we go back to what we're talking about, not going back to it, but the foundation of what we're talking about is the way we project ourselves.
Yeah.
Yet again, people look down on certain people because they're from a certain area or from a certain country.
Yeah.
How do you become successful in life knowing that maybe you might be looked that way? Is it an excuse to say that's why you're not doing well?
That's a good question. It's not an excuse, but it's a reason. We gotta, here's the thing, right? You can be successful despite the hurdles that are put in front of you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean those hurdles don't exist. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that those hurdles don't slow you down or those hurdles could stop you in your tracks. Yeah. But there are always other options to become successful. There are examples of that. You know, we got many examples of people who had many hurdles in front of them and they climbed over them and they became successful. Should there be hurdles? No. If there are hurdles, there should only be hurdles like, you know, things that, you know, not things like, oh, like the color this or whatever, that, like, you know, but they exist, you know. It's not a reason. But again, you asking me if there's a reason, and I know where you're asking that from, because there are people who will be like, oh man, you know, I'm being held down, and you know. But again, we're going back to human nature, right? The mind, if you are tired in the mind and in the soul, yeah. If you feel beaten down, you're going to hang on to that, yeah. You're gonna hang on to that, and then be like, ah, oh, see, like just being held back again, you know. Because there are a lot of people out there that are tired, and then some people they find it hard to look within and say, am I using this as an excuse? You know, am I being lazy? Am I tired? Could I do more? But then the problem is with a tired brain, the brain goes, oh, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I'm just tired, man. Like I don't want to start something new. So I'm gonna continue doing the thing that doesn't work. And then say, see, I'm being held back all the time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But you can't go around thinking that way, can you?
You can't, and you can. There's no right or wrong answer. For me, it depends on your situation. Yeah. And where we live right now, things might be harder, but there's opportunities, right? I cannot take our circumstance, and apply it to somewhere like in Congo or the diamond mines, you know, or a factory in India.
Okay.
Or for the untouchables in India. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Because
for them, literally it's hurdles, and it's like you're not going anywhere because your social status is this is what all you can do, and we don't want you to do anything else. You are not allowed to do anything else. Yeah. So you can imagine psychologically, people like that. Everybody in life wants a better life for themselves and their family. Nobody wants to work for minimum wage and struggle through life and stuff. Yeah. So even like the people that I mentioned, the untouchables and, you know, and certain people, they want a better life. But if you stuck in a structure where you cannot move and it's stifling, the human mind and spirit is going to get tired, you know. And if you look at them and tell them, "Oh, come on, man, you could be, you know, You could be better. You gotta get up and just go to school. But I'm not allowed at school. Or if I'm allowed at school, it's this terrible school with no funding because we are the untouchables, we're the dark skinned Indians. Yeah. So it is hard to say because in our circumstance, it could be tough. I could go to an interview and somebody could hear my accent and go, "Oh, foreigner." No, not knowing that I'm born here. Somebody could look at you see what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that I can't use my skills to build something outside. And it would be so hard, but it's possible. But yeah.
So all these motivational videos we have online, and you can make it and you can do it. There are some people who really can't do nothing about their situation.
No, and another thing as well, life is chance. There are some people out there that will put their all into things and die without anything in their pockets. That's just life. There are some people that will put out a song, yeah, with the same word repeated 4 times, yeah. Bob, 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 Rob, 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 number one hit, yeah. So millions of copies, yeah, and gets a Grammy or an award. It's life,
Yeah.
And also, to use that as an example of environment, right? I don't know if you saw my last book about people, talking about people.
No.
I made a point that if you want to see an example of human psychology, look at popular hip hop artists today. Yeah. Look at like Ice Cube and Ludacris and them guys that when they first started out, they would project the stereotype, you know what I mean? Like gangsters, rapping about selling drugs and, like got the bling and stuff and the women. But the ones that got popular and crossed over and got into movies and stuff, as they got older, notice how the dress changed from streetwear to suits. Their environment, the people there.
Yeah, even 50 Cent as well.
Yeah, they change the way they speak, their mindsets. Because again, like I said, there's no such thing as being black or being white or whatever. There's an environment, yeah, and it's labeled. This is white, this is black, this is Asian, this is whatever, right? And then people are put in those environments or born in those environments, and those environments mold them. And then they take the label and go, "Oh, black, put it on the chest. This is who I am." Yeah, or "Oh, white, put it on the chest. This is who I am," right? But when you see certain hip hop artists literally transform from one thing to another, yeah, Ice Cube, F the Police, NWA and stuff, and now in kiddish, like family friendly movies.
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? And that's not bad. But my point is, you see what I'm saying? You see our environment.
Yeah.
And if you're in an environment where like there's not much hope and there's poverty and stuff, yeah, it's gonna reflect on you. Not 100%. Those people got out and they broke out and they improved, right? Even with England, Ashley Walters, So Solid Crew, you know what I mean? Man on the Road, man. No, the man in movies and stuff, like the man, like he's a different person,
So would you say his new environment has changed who he is?
Environment and opportunities.
Opportunities, yeah. Because technically, when you get opportunities, certain things we do now, we will never do again.
Yeah.
Because that's not how we think anymore. The way we think might even be affected. The way we think about things will change as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah. So that's the case when it comes to people like black people and stuff. I see black men here that got the thickest English accents and act like posh and stuff. It's because of, one, their environment, and two, when you are in a country that doesn't reflect you, you either do one or two things. You rebel completely, yeah, and go this direction, or you overcompensate to be just like the country you're in and you go that direction. Yeah. So again, it's a psychology thing that we somehow boil down to being black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, looks like we all have a different starting point.
Yep, we all do.
So some advice about, oh, get up and do it yourself might not work in other parts of the world.
Might not, especially in a part of the world where the people that are telling you that they're gaslighting you. They know their boot is on your neck, and they're telling you, "Come on, get up, do better." I'm not going to name any countries or
Yeah,
continents, but
that's it.
yeah,
Remember that episode one.
episode one. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
They do everything to hold you down as a person, but saying, "Come on, get up," because they're gaslighting. Their whole purpose is to break you down. And again, looking at human nature on an individual level, right? All it is that on a grand level. Because remember, we were saying before that people that take advantage, and their whole purpose, yeah, to get from you is to keep you low, because they get from you. What they get from you is valuable, but they can't tell you that you're valuable, because if you're valuable, if you say that, you'd be like, "Oh, well, I'm wasting my time here." No. So their whole purpose is to continue to make you feel like you're not valuable. Now, we know that happens on a human to human level, right? On a basis. So of course, it can happen on a grand scale, population scale, And some countries were built on the backs of others.
Yeah.
The backs of others, and the thought that these people were inferior.
Yes.
So what made,
Yeah. Below them.
Right. So what makes people think that all of a sudden that thought process is going to change? Again, it's going to be passed down. Mm-hmm. The thought of being inferior is going to be passed down through those people, and then the thought of they're nothing is going to be passed down. So when people start saying that, oh, things happened so long ago, okay, if you're in an abusive relationship and you get abused by your wife or your husband, and it happened in the beginning of the relationship, yeah, and that person doesn't really change, and you pick like 20 years later, there's surface level abuse. There's that like insidious abuse. It's not like a beating. The beating came at the beginning, yeah, but since then, is this like underground abuse? How they talk to you, how they make you feel worthless, yeah. If you bring that up, and the first thing they tell you, "Why do you keep bringing that up? That was 20 years ago." They're gaslighting you.
Yeah.
Because they know deep down inside, they don't respect your value.
Yeah.
And they know deep down in the core, yeah, that's hidden, that they're not treating you well. But they've fooled themselves into believing, "Oh no, it's not that bad. The problem is you. It's not me." No, and they believe that. They deep down believe it. So when you put a mirror and show them that thing, they get angry, like, oh, they get angry at you, because you're pointing to something insidious and evil in their core that they've hidden. Because let me tell you something right now: no human being on this planet believes they're evil. Everyone thinks they're good, but deep down, subconsciously, they know there's something. They know this is it's not conscious; it's subconscious. They know it's bad. And then when it flares, they go, "Oh," it makes them feel like uncomfortable. I'm gonna shut it back down. No, I'm good.
And justify why.
Justify it. Yeah. And project it onto the people in front of them.
Yeah.
So I can't deal with my evil, so I project it onto who I don't like. Now you are evil.
Yeah. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
Yeah. So it's like you pass it on to someone else, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if we bring it to this country then, in Britain, where you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, what is our starting point like then? Yeah. So we have said that, it might not work in another part of the world when it comes to making it and being successful. How about here? Do you and I have a good starting point? Is there a lot of opportunities here?
There are a lot of opportunities to build something for yourself.
Yeah.
There are also a lot of opportunities to get work. The problem is not getting work. The problem is progressing. So how can let me try to think of an example. let me use the concept of affirmative action. Yeah, you know what that is, right?
You have to give it a bit of background and then get into what you need to say.
It's a system that goes, okay, we need parity in the workforce. So we need to have a certain amount of black people, a certain amount of white people, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So they would hire a black person even though they might not be as qualified for the job, yeah, for the position.
Yeah.
Or, even since all the riots and stuff, they've been saying we've got to hire more, black and minority, BAME, people and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in a just world, in a more straightforward world, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter who you are, Eldad Anoba, Adrian Armstrong, somebody with a foreign name, John Smith, whatever, right? No matter who you are, if you have your CV and you're qualified and you pass the interview, it should be like, yo, I'm not looking at you, I'm not looking at your name, nothing, yeah? This person was the best person for the job, you get the job, right? And if you get the job and you are the best person to be promoted to management or CEO or whatever, it should be like, yo, okay, this person is that's how it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that in the world. You could get a job and then you might want to progress and they'd be like, well, come on, what do you want to progress for? We gave you the job. Is that not enough?
Yeah.
Or the flip side of that is whenever somebody who doesn't look like they should be at a position, let's say that they finally made it to that position through their own hard work and their own qualifications, not the general consensus, but you'll get a chunk of people that look at them and go, oh, he was hired through affirmative action. It's impossible for that person to have the qualifications. So their mind says, oh, person, it's almost like the mind feeds back what the environment inceptions, it's like, we expect somebody of a certain color to be in this position. If we do not see it, it must mean that was through affirmative action. Because it's impossible for anybody who does. Yes. You see, it's all psychological again. So, and to your question, there are opportunities. We can get jobs. Yeah. Getting to that level is that's where the glass ceiling, stops. I remember having a conversation with a guy about wrestling, and they were talking about there were not many black champions in the history of wrestling. Yeah. And people always use the example of The Rock. But The Rock does not look black. He has a marketable look. Yeah. People look at him and go, we can market you. Yeah. It's not necessarily about racism. It's in a sense it is. It's like you're looking at somebody's appearance. Not only that, he's a good worker, good speaker. You go package. I can market you, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to this guy about that. He was saying like his reply was, it's because there haven't been that many good black wrestlers. I'm like, yeah, there were. There've been a lot. The problem is, right, there've been a lot that can talk, that can wrestle, but the moment they come in, they get saddled with a stereotypical gimmick. The witch doctor, the pimp, the dancing idiots, You know what I mean? Like the Rasta man from Jamaica who's actually born in Ghana.
Yeah.
Get saddled with these like one-dimensional gimmicks, right? And are told you got to do something with this. Or like, again, being fair, the Indian guy that was given the championship, but again, stereotype, give him a turban, he speaks in Urdu or Hindi, he's a bad guy. Stereotype, no one cares. You can't take it seriously, yeah? But I was saying, right, that every black wrestler that got the opportunity knocked it out the park. Yeah. But again, it comes to business. They look at them and go, we live in a country with 70% white people. We are marketing to those people.
Yeah.
We don't know if you can market you. Nobody wants to see you. Yeah, you're great. You know what I mean? So we'll go with this person who, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and the Indian guy that was made champion, they made him champion so that they can market him to India, not to America, to India. And they rejected him too because, again, it's a stereotype. They don't care. It's like you insulting them and saying, hey, look, we got a champion for you, but he's a caricature. Yeah. So, and they're like, that's not real to me. So there are all these like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would you say there are minorities who've made it through sheer hard work in companies where they allow people to grow?
Yeah, of course. Not everybody has the same philosophy.
Yeah.
There are companies where people have a very different philosophy, whereas like we don't care about any of that stuff. You're a good worker. I want you to, you're in the position that you deserve to be in. Not everybody is the same. That's another thing that we gotta acknowledge as people. Not everybody is the same.
It's just that it's not many of those people here. In order to, is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that either because we don't really know. When we go into life, we don't know who's out there until we don't know.
Yeah.
You can only know based on who you come across. Hence why for me, racism is stupid, because it's like me going, oh man, all these companies out there do that. I don't know. I've never been to this company or that company or that company. I might have heard something on the news about this, but I don't know.
You don't know until you experience it yourself.
Until I come across a person or a company or something. I don't know until, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's not every single company that's that way, isn't it? It's not like, or everywhere you work that people treat you bad. Even if you heard it on the news, you have to experience it for yourself. So I guess talking about making it here, is doing it yourself much more better if the opportunities doesn't exist for you to go where you really want to be, because there always seems to be yes, you could get work, you could progress, but then the progression has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
So for you to get to where you want to do, would you say it involves trying to make it, have your vision and see if you could be where you really want to be?
Yeah. And that's for everybody, regardless of hurdles or whatever, because the thing is, everybody has hurdles to certain degrees. I think the mistake we make is we look at one group of people, and go like, it's just us, but everybody has hurdles. Like, there are poor white English people who have hurdles, black, also, but it's different levels, right? And then the system that we're in is genius in that it pits everybody against each other.
Wow.
So you don't see, oh, my fellow black guy has got, like, black people have the same hurdles as me or whatever. You look at it as, oh, they're stealing our jobs or whatever. You don't see it like for what it really is. But everybody has hurdles, but everybody's looking at everybody else as the issue. And even to that, when people talk about, immigrants coming to steal our jobs and stuff, and this is in any country, like, this is not like, I've heard this in Barbados with, when certain people from another Caribbean country started to come for work. But what they don't realize is there are no people. Like, we think like, oh, white people are my people, black people are my people. No. There are people that make money, and they're all each other's people. Yeah, as long as you make money, white, black, and you up here, you are my people. Everybody else, you are peasants, right? So when you come to England and you hear like people say, oh, these immigrants coming and stealing our jobs. No, they're not stealing your jobs. Your own people, or even in Barbados or whatever, a black person that runs a company, your own people are giving those jobs to those people to exploit them for cheap labor to get their own profits. They don't care about you as the black populace. They don't care about you as the white populace. But they're hoping that you're so caught up on color, that you're saying, oh, these people are my team, so I'm not going to look at them or what they do. I'm just going to look at the people that they hire or give the crap jobs to. Those are the enemy. Nah, they're just people who are trying to feed their family like everybody else, and being exploited by your people. that you don't look at.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah.
Wow. Very interesting, Adrian.
So next time we talk, we'll be talking about how fear influences policing.
Yeah.
And the things that we spoke about before about how people are viewed. So you could imagine how authority views people through those lenses. And also how people project their own badness onto people without seeing that they are the problem. We've seen politicians around the world do that, do foolishness, and they cannot see it in themselves, but they project it onto other people. But we will expand on that.
Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah.
For the next one.
That is very interesting.